Could the secret to stronger erections be hiding in your daily routine? What sounds like a simple, even playful question is actually grounded in fascinating science. On the Intimate Wisdom channel, a recent discussion highlights research suggesting that improving sexual health, especially erectile strength, doesn't always require medication or complicated interventions. Instead, one of the most effective ways may lie in something accessible to nearly everyone: brisk walking. This everyday habit, when done at the right pace, could significantly enhance not only sexual performance but overall well-being. 1. Erectile dysfunction, ED, a widespread but underestimated condition. Erectile dysfunction, commonly abbreviated as ED, is one of the most prevalent health issues affecting men worldwide. At its core, ED refers to the persistent inability to achieve or maintain an erection firm enough for satisfactory sexual activity. While some men may experience temporary difficulties due to fatigue or stress, clinical ED is a chronic condition that deserves careful medical attention. Epidemiological studies suggest that more than 50% of men over the age of 40 report some level of erectile difficulty, with prevalence increasing significantly with age. Yet, despite being so widespread, ED is still surrounded by stigma, causing many men to suffer in silence rather than seek help. The impact of ED extends far beyond the bedroom. It can erode self-confidence, trigger anxiety or depression, and strain intimate relationships. For many, the problem is not just about sexual performance, but also about identity, self-worth, and emotional well-being. From a physiological perspective, ED can arise from a variety of causes: hormonal imbalances, neurological disorders, vascular issues, medication side effects, or psychological stresses. Importantly, doctors increasingly recognize ED as an early warning sign of systemic health problems. For instance, the small arteries in the penis are often the first to show dysfunction before larger arteries of the heart or brain, meaning ED can sometimes precede more serious conditions such as heart disease or stroke by several years. This makes it not only a sexual health concern but also a broader indicator of men's overall vascular and metabolic health. Because of this, clinicians often urge patients to treat ED as a medical condition requiring evaluation, rather than a personal failing. Awareness and early action can help men not only restore their sexual function but also detect and address hidden health issues in time. In this sense, ED should be viewed as both a quality of life issue and a public health concern. 1. The crucial role of blood flow in erections. At the biological level, erections are essentially a vascular event. For an erection to occur, blood must flow into the corpora cavernosa, two sponge-like chambers within the penis, and remain trapped there under pressure. This process depends on a finely tuned interaction between the nervous system, hormonal signals, and, most importantly, healthy blood vessels. When arteries are elastic and unobstructed, blood flows freely, leading to strong and sustained erections. But when the vascular system is compromised by high blood pressure, atherosclerosis, diabetes, or smoking, this flow is hindered, resulting in weaker or inconsistent erections. In fact, many urologists consider erectile function a direct barometer of cardiovascular health. The connection is so strong that ED is now widely recognized as a predictor of coronary artery disease. Men with ED often have higher risks of heart attack, stroke, or peripheral vascular disease compared to those without symptoms. Psychological stress adds another dimension, as chronic anxiety and elevated cortisol levels can constrict blood vessels, further reducing penile blood supply. This interplay underscores why lifestyle factors matter so much. Habits like smoking or excessive drinking don't just affect the lungs or liver, they gradually damage the vascular endothelium, the thin lining inside blood vessels, leading to systemic circulation problems. Conversely, positive lifestyle choices such as regular exercise, a balanced diet rich in antioxidants, and stress management techniques strengthen vascular health, improve nitric oxide availability, and enhance blood delivery to the penis. By protecting circulation, Men simultaneously safeguard both their heart and their sexual function. Thus, blood flow is not only the foundation of erections, but also the bridge that connects sexual vitality with overall health. 2. Walking fast. A free and accessible solution. Among the many lifestyle interventions studied for sexual health, brisk walking stands out for its simplicity, accessibility, and scientifically proven impact. Walking is an activity nearly everyone can perform, regardless of age or fitness level. Yet its benefits go far beyond burning calories. Recent research highlights that it is not just the act of walking, but the pace that makes a measurable difference in reducing the risk of erectile dysfunction. Men who consistently walk at a faster pace over 4 miles per hour, about 6.4 kilometers per hour, demonstrate significantly better erectile function than those who walk slowly. The reason is straightforward: brisk walking challenges the cardiovascular system, strengthens the heart, and promotes more efficient circulation. With each step, blood is pumped more forcefully throughout the body, including the microvascular networks of the penis. This enhanced blood flow directly supports the physiological mechanisms necessary for firm erections. Interestingly, duration or frequency of walking sessions appears less important than intensity. A short daily walk at a brisk pace can be more effective than longer, slower strolls. This makes brisk walking a highly practical option for men with busy schedules, no expensive equipment, no gym membership, and minimal risk of injury. Beyond sexual health, walking fast contributes to weight management, reduces blood sugar levels, improves cholesterol profiles, and boosts mental well-being by lowering stress hormones. These systemic benefits create a positive feedback loop. Better cardiovascular health leads to better erectile function, which in turn enhances confidence and quality of life. In many ways, brisk walking can be considered a natural therapy, safe, free, and sustainable. It exemplifies how small adjustments in daily habits can yield profound long-term benefits, helping men maintain not only their sexual vitality but also their overall health and longevity. 3. Study design and scientific foundation. Within the field of sexual medicine, understanding the underlying risk factors and protective mechanisms for erectile dysfunction, ED, has long been a priority. A notable investigation conducted in China and published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine shed new light on this issue by combining data from 2 large-scale research cohorts. What distinguished this study from many prior efforts was its integration of genetic analysis rather than relying solely on self-reported lifestyle surveys. The researchers focused on single nucleotide polymorphisms, SNPs, which are tiny variations in DNA sequences that can subtly shape biological traits. Some SNPs influence a person's natural walking pace, pushing them toward faster strides, while others correlate with slower gait patterns. This concept has been described as the genetic signature of walking speed. At the same time, a separate dataset provided detailed information on SNPs associated with erectile dysfunction. By merging these 2 sources, the research team could test a compelling hypothesis: do the genetic variants that predispose individuals to faster walking also lower the likelihood of experiencing ED? To strengthen their findings, the scientists accounted for well-known confounding factors such as smoking, obesity, and diabetes, all of which are established contributors to erectile problems. This methodological rigor helped isolate walking pace as an independent factor. Importantly, the scale of the study, involving thousands of genetic profiles, offered statistical power and reliability beyond what smaller observational studies could achieve. The result is a robust framework suggesting that daily behaviors like walking speed are not just matters of personal choice but may be partially determined by genetic predispositions, with significant downstream consequences for male sexual health. By grounding lifestyle observations in genetic data, the study provided a bridge between biology and behavior, reinforcing the idea that ED is a multifactorial condition influenced by both inherited and environmental determinants. 4. Implications and practical impact. When the results were analyzed, a striking pattern emerged. Men carrying genetic markers linked to brisk walking displayed a considerably lower risk of erectile dysfunction compared to those with variants tied to slower pace. This discovery highlights an important duality. On one hand, walking speed can be improved through deliberate lifestyle changes. On the other hand, the predisposition to walk faster may be encoded in DNA, shaping an individual's baseline physiology. The implications extend in several directions. First, they suggest that something as accessible as brisk walking can serve as a powerful preventive tool, essentially a non-prescription therapy for sexual health. Second, the findings emphasize the need for modern medicine to consider both lifestyle interventions and genetic predispositions when providing guidance. In practice, this means men do not need drastic or expensive changes to protect their erectile function. Simply maintaining a consistent brisk pace in their daily walks can yield measurable benefits, even when traditional risk factors like obesity or diabetes are present. The researchers' careful adjustment for these confounders demonstrated that walking speed stands out as an independent protective factor, rather than merely a side effect of better health overall. Clinically, this evidence equips physicians with a persuasive, science-backed recommendation for patients: speed up your walking as a practical step towards safeguarding sexual performance. Beyond immediate application, the study opens exciting avenues for personalized medicine. By analyzing genetic profiles, clinicians may one day predict ED risk and tailor lifestyle prescriptions accordingly. For now, however, the message remains refreshingly simple and hopeful. Everyday choices, particularly the tempo of one's walk, can make a profound difference in long-term sexual and cardiovascular health. This convergence of genetic insight and behavioral science underscores how small, intentional actions can empower men to maintain vitality, confidence, and well-being throughout life. 5. Walking speed categories and biological significance. In order to investigate the association between walking pace and erectile dysfunction, ED, the researchers divided participants into 3 clear categories: slow walkers, less than 3 miles per hour, moderate walkers, 3 to 4 miles per hour, and brisk walkers, greater than 4 miles per hour. This classification was not arbitrary, it reflects meaningful physiological differences. Walking speed is widely regarded as a proxy for overall health and vitality. Slow walkers often display lower cardiorespiratory fitness, reduced muscular strength, and weaker circulatory efficiency, all of which are linked to greater risk of chronic illness. By contrast, brisk walkers typically have stronger cardiovascular systems, higher oxygen uptake, and greater neuromuscular coordination. These biological advantages contribute directly to better vascular health, which is critical for erectile function. By separating participants into these groups, the researchers were able to observe gradients of risk across the spectrum of walking speeds. In practice, this categorization provides physicians with a simple yet powerful tool. Measuring a patient's average walking pace can serve as an indirect indicator of vascular integrity and sexual health. Thus, walking speed classification goes beyond methodological convenience. It offers an accessible clinical marker that connects everyday physical activity to underlying biology. 6. Key findings: a 76% reduction in ED risk. Perhaps the most striking result of the study is the figure that captured attention. For every 1 mile per hour increase in average walking pace, the risk of erectile dysfunction fell by as much as 76%. This dramatic reduction persisted even after controlling for major confounders such as obesity, smoking, and diabetes. In other words, walking speed emerged as an independent predictor, not merely a reflection of healthier individuals being more active. The magnitude of risk reduction suggests that brisk walking enhances several physiological mechanisms at once: improved blood flow, increased endothelial function, greater nitric oxide release, and reduced vascular stiffness all contribute to better erectile capacity. What makes this finding particularly compelling is its simplicity. Unlike pharmaceutical interventions, which often target a single pathway, Walking faster addresses multiple systems simultaneously: circulation, metabolism, and stress regulation. For public health, the implication is profound. A low-cost, universally accessible habit could significantly lower ED prevalence. The 76% statistic provides powerful evidence that even incremental changes in walking speed can lead to disproportionate benefits for men's sexual health. 7. Practical advice. Walking faster every day. The practical takeaway from the research is refreshingly straightforward. Men should aim to increase their walking pace. The threshold of greater than 4 miles per hour is identified as the sweet spot, fast enough to raise heart rate and breathing, yet still comfortable and sustainable without the intensity of running. This brisk pace can be incorporated into everyday routines: walking to work, commuting across a campus, or taking a stroll in the park. The critical insight is that speed matters more than duration or frequency. A shorter walk at brisk pace may be more beneficial than a long, leisurely stroll. This makes the recommendation especially relevant for men with busy schedules who may not have time for structured exercise sessions. Beyond reducing ED risk, brisk walking brings additional rewards: improved cardiovascular fitness, better weight control, reduced stress levels, and enhanced mental well-being. The synergy of these benefits forms a reinforcing cycle. As cardiovascular health improves, erectile function strengthens, and as sexual health improves, confidence and mood are boosted. In essence, brisk walking functions as a natural, accessible, and sustainable intervention that elevates both physical vitality and quality of life. 8. Study limitations and future directions. As promising as the results are, the study carries certain limitations that must be acknowledged. First, most of the genetic and lifestyle data were derived from individuals of European descent, raising questions about whether the findings are generalizable across diverse ethnic groups. Genetic variations, cultural habits, and environmental factors may influence both walking pace and ED risk differently in other populations. Second, although confounding variables such as smoking, obesity, and diabetes were carefully adjusted for, other potential influences such as sleep quality, stress levels, dietary habits, or medication use were not fully captured. Moreover, walking pace was partially assessed through self-reports, which introduces a degree of subjectivity. Future research should incorporate objective wearable devices to track walking speed and physical activity patterns with higher accuracy. Longitudinal studies involving diverse populations will also be critical to validate the universality of the observed association. Despite these limitations, the central message remains intact: walking faster appears to be a safe, low-cost, and highly practical strategy for improving male sexual health. Should further studies confirm these results, brisk walking may one day be included in official medical guidelines as a non-pharmacological recommendation for preventing erectile dysfunction. Walking, the simple therapy for long-lasting and powerful erections. Walking may seem like just a simple daily habit, but it holds tremendous power in helping men maintain vitality and peak sexual performance. When the body moves rhythmically, blood circulation improves, allowing a stronger and more sustained flow of blood to the penis, which leads to firmer and longer-lasting erections. Beyond that, scientific studies have shown that brisk walking for 30 to 45 minutes a day significantly boosts testosterone levels, the key hormone that governs sexual desire and male strength. At the same time, walking helps reduce stress by lowering cortisol, while stimulating the release of endorphins and serotonin, bringing feelings of relaxation, confidence, and readiness to engage with full energy. Moreover, this habit supports weight control, burns excess fat, and prevents obesity, diabetes, and hypertension, the leading causes of sexual dysfunction. The perfect harmony of a healthy body, a refreshed mind, and abundant hormones makes walking a natural golden key for men to sustain stamina, virility, and long-lasting erections. By simply committing to daily walks, Combined with a balanced diet and sufficient sleep, men can restore their peak performance and full confidence in their intimate life. Call to action. Start today to preserve lifelong vitality. The most powerful takeaway from this body of research is not merely the statistical figures, but the clear invitation for men to act now. Erectile dysfunction may appear inevitable with age, but the science strongly suggests that lifestyle choices can dramatically alter the trajectory. By simply increasing walking speed, men can take proactive control of their health and safeguard their sexual vitality for decades to come. This is not about expensive treatments, invasive procedures, or reliance on medication. Instead, it is about a small yet sustainable adjustment to daily life: walking briskly, at speeds above 4 miles per hour. Such a habit strengthens the heart, enhances blood circulation, and optimizes vascular function, which in turn supports consistent and reliable erections. The benefits accumulate over time. What begins as a modest improvement in endurance and mood becomes, over the years, a shield against both cardiovascular disease and ED. For men, the message is both practical and empowering. Sexual health does not need to decline sharply with age. It can be preserved and even enhanced through conscious daily actions. Choosing to walk faster each day is essentially a long-term investment, not only in physical fitness but also in confidence, intimacy, and overall quality of life. Imagine reaching older age with the ability to maintain a satisfying sexual relationship, free from the anxieties that ED so often creates. This is not wishful thinking but realistic outcome supported by robust scientific evidence. Beyond the physiological impact, brisk walking contributes to psychological well-being by reducing stress hormones, boosting endorphins, and reinforcing a sense of vitality. This holistic improvement feeds back into sexual performance, creating a cycle of health and confidence that extends across the lifespan. Therefore, the advice is simple yet profound: don't wait. Incorporate brisk walking into your routine starting today. Each step you take at a faster pace is not just exercise, it is an active choice to secure your future health, protect your sexual function, and sustain your energy into old age. Over time, this consistent practice becomes one of the most reliable forms of preventive medicine available, completely free of cost and accessible to all. With the evidence now clear, men everywhere have both the knowledge and the means to maintain their sexual vitality well into later life. The future of one's intimate health may depend on nothing more complicated than the speed of one's stride. Thank you for listening until the very end. If today's story has gently stirred your heart, whether through an old memory, a present feeling, or something never spoken into words, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Intimate wisdom is where we come together to touch the hidden corners of love, affection, and sexuality, things that may seem private, yet are in fact the very core of happiness. I wish you to always love deeply, live truthfully, and find yourself in every glance, every touch, and every trembling heartbeat. Affectionate greetings.